have quite an intensive program. You can find this our agenda on our Facebook and on our website, and we begin our first presentation. A volunteer Canadian mission of surgeons arrived to Kyiv, and they arrived to Ukraine to do reconstructive surgery for victims on Maidan. And we'll speak to Khrystyna Valyer, head of humanitarian department, Canadian and Ukrainian Foundation, Oleg Antonyshyn, surgeon, Canada, Anna Kovalenko, advisor to Ukrainian Minister of Defense, and Vitaliy Andronatiy, head of the military and medical department, Ministry of Defense, please. Morning. I'm Anna Kovalenko. Well, right away, I would like to Anna Kovalenko. I'm an advisor to the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, and now surgery started yesterday, and to let our colleagues from it go, and they were introduced. Let's start with them. So I invite Khrystyna Valyer, Canadian and Ukrainian Foundation. Morning, everybody. Here we have a surgeon, and a surgeon from Canada, from Senneberg, Oleg Antonyshyn. We are together here. We have 25 of us here from Canada. And we have a microsurgeon and a neurosurgeon on plastic reconstruction of, and also three plastic surgeons and nurses and physiotherapists. We cooperate and we give master classes together with our Ukrainian colleagues, and we treat together. We provide treatment to our military men and those who became wounded during Maidan. I will give the floor to Oleg for him to explain what was done and what they're planning to do. Morning. It's a great pleasure to be here and to be in Ukraine with the Canadian mission. The first time we came, Canadian Ukrainian Foundation supported us in April. After Maidan, we were here. And during that visit, we went to Donetsk, to Kyiv, to Lviv, and we met a lot of doctors, and we saw how they do surgery. And we were planning how Canadian diaspora could help to the wounded. On Maidan, and also wounded in the east. And there were several initiatives about this is a very practical initiative, and it would be easy to implement and to plan it. And mission of surgeons, that's what we wanted to do. And we wanted to have Canadian professionals for them to see Ukrainian surgeons and doctors, and in the best medical center with having patients, and we wanted to find the best solution, how to help and how to conduct, how to perform surgeries together. After that first visit, and we have a lot of there are a lot of professionals here who work on traumas, and they work in the military hospital. We are very thankful that they received us. And we arrived on Friday, and on Saturday we saw patients on Sunday, and we started to do surgery on Monday. It's fantastic, and Ukrainian doctors and Canadian doctors working together. Sometimes some Canadian doctors they speak Ukrainian, some not. Some of them just came to cooperate with Ukrainian doctors, and from the whole Canada, from Victoria on one part and to the eastern coast of Canada, all of them arrived together. It's a great pleasure when the operation room, Ukrainian doctors and Canadian doctors are working together to help the patients. That's it. That is funded by Canadian Ukrainian Foundation. We worked together with the Operation Rainbow from Canada, and we raised a lot of money in Canada, and there was our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, and Wayne Gretzky, a hockey player, joined us to support Ukraine in this time and to express his support to our mission and to our work. We also cooperate here with Initiative A+, and it has the beta database of the wounded, and they cooperate with us and help us, and we are very thankful to Mr. Andronatiy that he received us so nicely, and all our doctors are so powerful. They're working so good, and we are thankful that for us it's a sharing experience, and this is also training for us. And they taught us a lot. They are professionals on traumas, and our surgeons are using that. So we are thankful to you and to Ukraine that you received us so nicely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Khrystyna. It's very important for us to cooperate. I invite Vitaliy Andronatiy. He's the head of the medical department. Good morning, dear colleagues. First of all, to thank all Ukrainians, all Ukrainian people, all Ukrainians all the world who help with these problems we have in Ukraine. You know that we have a lot of wounded. Military medicine is working, and they provide them medical assistance, and on a high level. And it's a great pleasure to hear that foreign doctors who come to Ukraine, they also confirm that we have a very high level of military medicine in Ukraine. But what's the beauty in this event? Our Ukrainian colleagues, they came to help us, because every wounded who comes to life, who is saved, then everyone needs a lot of interference, sometimes surgical interference, to improve the functions, physical functions, and to improve the outlook. And we were able to, our colleagues, they noticed that niche and the techniques they have. They came to share that with us and to help our wounded, for them to be just like normal people. And the level of disability is reduced. And it's a great pleasure that all the Canadians support us, and the Prime Minister, and who's the main initiator of this visit, and Canadian Ukrainian Foundation, headed by Khrystyna Valyer, and that work started in April and from Maidan, and now they continue it. And I'm sure that thanks to communication between our Ukrainian doctors and Canadian doctors, that cooperation will continue, because the range of this cooperation is limitless. And all of us, we improve, we share experience, and I believe that the whole world should see what Ukraine is, and also level of military medicine. I would like to thank our colleagues in public, and they are not only doctors, nurses, different medical professions, and they will work on the construction of facial, cranial bones, and also scars. We will treat scars after burns and after operations, and so they will finish the process of treatment of our wounded military men. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, Vitaliy. I would like to add, and we will switch to questions. The the tool. We would like to simplify the mechanism how to involve foreign doctors, because the mechanism how they come is very difficult. And what we have now is like a master classes, and Canadian doctors consult, and but they came with technologies, they came with equipment, and they are planning to leave that here. And we want to not only one-time cooperation, we wanted to continue this, and that's why we are building contacts not only with Canada but with other countries. And here we had the president, Ukrainian Canadian Foundation, and he told about the project Rainbow Foundation. And we know from other projects how much Canada supports Ukraine. I would like to thank Canadian people and your project. And I have the first question. Speaking about the future, what Anya says. Are you planning to send our doctors to Canada for them to learn, and then to come back and to conduct surgeries here? And the war is not over, and there will be a need to have a lot of surgeries. Not only we are planning, our doctors work abroad all the time. They learn there. And this is a non-stop process, and bilateral. We have bilateral contacts with other countries and also with NATO countries. And I cannot tell you, but about 7-8 doctors are trained abroad now. So they learn language at the same time, which is important because, unfortunately, a few doctors speak foreign languages, and that we are trying to have a bigger group of such doctors. If we wanted to move on, and there should be cooperation, and language, it's something very difficult to learn, and but then we can study in other countries. As to training, we cooperate now. Recently, there was days of NATO in Ukraine, and different experts come, and professionals who would like to help our government. Also, we invite them for lectures in military universities, and then students could speak English and could improve language skills, and also they can improve their knowledge of NATO. I have a question. For how long are you planning to be in Ukraine? How many days? And how many surgeries are planned? And how did you select among that huge number of people who will be operated? Thank you. We arrived on Friday night, and we started surgery on from Monday to Saturday. How many patients? That's a difficult question because they have a lot of complicated problems. Like in 3 surgery halls, they're working daily, and there is one more. All operation halls are busy. We are working there, but some defects and are very complicated, and sometimes the surgery lasts for 6 hours. And how do you select patients for these surgeries? And Oksana Sivak was working on selection, and all these. Those wounds are not fresh, and Andronatiy can tell you more about this. At present, we selected 40 patients, and through whole Ukraine. Not only military men, by the way, half of them, half to half, 50-50, because not all the patients are ready for such surgeries, and we take those who are ready for cranial plastics, and we collected the database on the wounded, and we sent it to professionals. They looked, and they selected, and we involved to this work, to this format, all all victims of Maidan, for them to receive free medical assistance, and Canadian doctors will provide that. And they also brought the medical materials for transplantation. And now we receive calls because it's impossible to take into consideration everything. Because when you inform people about this event, they say, "Oh, in our region we have someone who needs that surgery." I told them immediately, bring them in. So they will come. The more of them will come by the end of the week, just to get under the wonderful hands of our colleagues from Canada. It's correct that if there are families and who want the family members to be operated, and they should speak to Initiative Plus, and they will, after you show this on TV, that we will have more patients, and we need to inform broader public about this, because we know about, we have information only about our military men, and it's difficult to speak about the rest of the wounded. And there are many channels how to get to the surgery, and through Ukrainian Canadian Foundation, through Ministry of Defense. An advisor for the President, Olga Bohumolets, in August, she told that there are some ideas how to start such a profession as a military medicine in medical universities. Is there any change, and how do you see that? Correct. Unfortunately, in 2006, the regulation of the cabinet minister closed all medical medicine chairs. But now there is a regulation of the cabinet ministers, and to bring back those departments. And the situation in 80 area shows that all the doctors should know the principles of military medicine and field surgery, because it is absolutely different from a planned surgery in surgeons use in hospitals. And she told that we have to start back military education, and in schools, and we should train our pupils how to provide first aid. The same university center now, even a policeman doesn't know how to provide first aid on a street to someone. And they're waiting for doctors. That should not happen. Everyone should know. There should be skill of everyone, and doctors should know principles of how to provide medical assistance in combat areas, because all of them must be called, must be recruited, must be recruited during war, and they should have a rank of officers, because we have absence of military department. We bring surgeons, but their rank is like they don't have a military rank. So we need to build up that activity. You told that you selected 40 wounded. Half of them, 50 of them are military men, half of them wounded on Maidan. I would like to repeat again, not me who selected. We just gave the list of all our wounded for our colleagues, and the initiative Year Plus, they selected, and also Canadian doctors looked at them, and they decided who must be operated. It's impossible to impose your opinion here, because you remember there was bad story when German doctors came and selected patients, and that's the principle. They selected those for whom they were responsible, and they would make them healthy and would return to Ukraine healthy, normal people who would be able to continue their service in the army. And then there was a story that what we wanted, they didn't take those wounded that we wanted, but they have their own principles, they have their own protocol. Our protocols are different, our requirements are different. So we have our principles depend on surgeons, whether they wanted to do a surgery or not. Who covers expenditures for these operations? Completely, as Khrystyna told you, Canadian Ukrainian Foundation, and the money they raised, common Canadians collect. But the Ministry of Defense also cover for all military men. We cover for military men because expenditures, because according to the law, all our military men are treated free of charge. You spoke that those who, according to the legislation, we cannot spend money from the budget. For those are covered by Canadian Ukrainian Foundation. More questions? No question. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Canadian surgeons, Ukrainians, for coming to our briefing and for announcing this project. And we will wait for the results of your project. Our